just something about making your own Easter eggs. You can choose the chocolate, you can use a really good quality, your favourite chocolate. If you temper it really well, like I'm going to show you how to do, and it's very simple, you can create a really nice glossy sheen, a really good snap, unlike so many of the eggs that you buy, which are actually a little bit soft when you snap them. You can fill them, just everything about it. So firstly, you're going to temper the chocolate by heating it up to a certain temperature and then cooling it down to a certain temperature. You want to heat it over a bain-marie like this, or a bowl sitting over a pan of water which isn't quite simmering. This enables you to heat it gently and slowly and puts you in full control of the temperature of the chocolate. So stir it as it melts, and as soon as the temperature reaches 45 degrees Celsius, remove it from the heat. You're then going to cool it down to the required temperature by adding in little pieces of chocolate. Just a few pieces at a time, and stir well until it's fully melted before adding the next few pieces. So you can see I'm using my spatula to really press the little pieces against the bowl, encouraging them to melt fully before I add the next few pieces. This is important. These little pieces of chocolate are doing two things. They're cooling the chocolate down, and they're also encouraging the right crystals to form so that we end up with perfectly tempered chocolate. If you'd like me to explain in more detail how this tempering process works, then let me know in the comments section below. So once the temperature has reduced to 32 degrees Celsius, we're ready to make the eggs. So dry the base of your bowl, as it's crucial that no water droplets go near your chocolate. This is something to remember throughout this whole process. And just pour it into your mould. And move it around, ensuring that it coats the sides completely, right up to the tops and just slightly over the edge. In terms of which mould, almost any will work. The difference between cheaper and more expensive will generally be that a better mould will give your egg a more glossy finish. Then you're going to tip it upside down, hold it for a few seconds, and scrape away the excess whilst it's still upside down, and then place it down onto a piece of baking paper. After just 3 or 4 minutes, scrape away the chocolate which was sitting over the edge, and then place it back upside down onto the baking paper to cool completely. After just a few hours, the mould should slide off easily. You may need to give it a little wiggle. You can see I've put on a pair of cotton gloves to ensure I don't leave fingerprints on the egg, and I've also heated a large saucepan for a few seconds. Dry the base to make sure there's no moisture, then take the first shell and place it down onto the pan. Press down extremely gently for a couple of seconds until you see all of the edges have melted down a tiny bit and are looking smooth and even, and then remove it. Now for the fun part, you can fill your egg. I'm filling mine with these sea salt truffles, but you could also make sugared cocoa dusted almonds. They make a great filling. At this point, really personalize it to the taste of the person for whom you're making the egg. And then do the same with the other shell. And line them up, and then fuse them or hold them together. Once you're sure the edges are touching all the way around, then you can press a little more firmly and hold for a good 30 seconds. Just to show you a little closer, You can see all of the edges are just melting down a tiny bit. Then press it together, hold it, try to keep nice and steady, and then carefully rest it down to set completely. Finally, for a very seamless, simple base, heat up the saucepan again and gently press the egg onto it for a few seconds, twisting to make sure it's standing up straight, and then return it to the paper to cool. At this point, you may want to stand back to ensure it's standing up perfectly straight. Mine wasn't here, so I'm just returning it to the pan for a second. And then leave it to cool. And after a short while, you'll be ready to wrap it. It was that simple. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more sweet, simple recipes, and don't forget to hit the bell button to be notified of my next video. See you next time.